Young love. Is there anything more magical than two people finding each other and falling in love? I mean, boy meets girl. Girl breaks boy out of jail. Boy gets caught and put back in jail. But their love endures. And 2 years later, when he's paroled, boy and girl embark on a notorious 2-year crime spree. I know, it's the stuff of fairy tales. But just like any star-crossed lovers, this pair would meet their fate. Spoiler alert, it happened here in Louisiana. Of course, the two lovers are none other than Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, two of the most notorious criminals of the 1930s. So steal a car, grab your machine gun and a cigar, buckle up. This one's a trip. Okay, so here's the gist. During their 2-year crime spree between 1932 through 1934, Bonnie and Clyde are suspected of having committed several robberies, automotive thefts, a couple of kidnappings, and 13 murders. As you can imagine, this sort of thing doesn't go unnoticed by the FBI, and these two quickly top the most wanted list. And if it wasn't for a fatal flaw, they might have gotten away with it. You see, this wasn't just a crime spree. It was a road trip. Huh? On the itinerary, visiting friends and family and dabbling in delinquency along the way. Their movements went in a circle, always skirting the edges of 5 Midwestern states, exploiting the state line rule. As in, if there's a warrant out for your arrest in one state, police cannot cross state lines to arrest you. Genius! Well, almost. The FBI began to take notice and followed the gang through various haunts in Louisiana, figuring out that they were due back in Shreveport. But as you can probably guess, they'd never make it there. And that might be the biggest crime of all. They likely never had a chance to grab a slice of pie from Strawn's. Seriously, this pie right here, almost too good to be legal. Okay, I digress. On May 23rd, 1934, a posse was assembled to ambush the duo, concealing themselves along the highway near Gibsland, Louisiana. 130 rounds were fired into their Ford Deluxe, or, rather their stolen Ford Deluxe, and that was Bonnie and Clyde's last ride. One could say Bonnie and Clyde had left the building. You know who else left the building in Shreveport? Elvis did, for the first time, almost 20 years later at the Shreveport Municipal Auditorium. To think, if they had only stopped to smell the roses a bit, maybe they could have avoided that whole scene. If you're on a road trip of your very own in northern Louisiana, you might want to learn more about all the gruesome details here. One particularly gruesome fact, after Gibsland, the couple was transported to nearby Arcadia. So technically, Bonnie and Clyde's last ride was to a furniture store to be embalmed. Wait, what? Yeah, it was common in the 1930s for funeral parlors and furniture stores to share spaces. Speaking of preserving the dead, what's a road trip without unusual roadside attractions? Touchstone Wildlife and Art Museum in nearby Houghton is a taxidermist's dream, with over 1,000 stuffed and mounted animals from around the globe. So, the moral of the story? Road trips are meant to be unpredictable. Stop to eat the pie, smell the roses, grab that Instagram-worthy photo op with this guy, and explore whatever roadside attraction catches your eye. Because you never know when the feds might be onto you with a more permanent trip in mind. That's some good pie.